Well, good Sunday afternoon to you. Been having issues today because my other tripod wasn't working. I had to find this one because the computer still acting up. It's not saving my videos as MP4s so that I can put them on YouTube. So if anybody has any ideas about that, I'm going to go to the library tomorrow and see if their internet will do it. I have a feeling my internet is just too bad and it won't allow it. But never fear, we are doing the weekly reading once again by phone. We'll get with the program eventually. In the meantime, welcome back to another reading for the collective. I do this every Sunday. Sometimes it doesn't get posted until Monday because of the internet, but we're going to see if we can get to the library, find a library close to me tomorrow. If not, I'll go into Scottsdale because I know where that one is. If you're new to the channel, thank you for stopping in, checking it out. If you like what you see in here and the teachings and things that I do, please make sure to hit the like and subscribe and the bell notifications for when a new video comes out. If you're a returning viewer, I thank you for sticking with me and sticking with things as we navigate and get back on track. So this week's reading, I was guided to use the Sacred Path cards. Now this is a little different and it goes into more detail than a lot of the oracle cards do, because this is a discovery of self through native teachings. And it's actually comes from Jamie Sams. So a lot of them are her teachings and what she was taught growing up in her native part of the country and what her grandma taught. So let's continue with the reading. I pulled 3 cards after asking what the collectives, guides, angels, masters, and totems wanted them to know. So with this one, we'll get a little kind of like a little saying. Then there's a teaching, and then, well, this one has a big teaching, and then the application. So native teaching, of course, goes into a lot more detail than just an oracle card does. But it's very important, especially if you're walking the path of beauty. So the first card that I pulled was called the Shawl. And it says returning home. So the saying is, Earth Mother welcomes her children home when they have lost their way. The trail was lonely and so long. She whispers for them to stay. Within the protection of the shawl, where love abides again, their hearts may open to recall all relations as their friends. So the teaching, many people across the world have heard the saying, home is where the heart is. Traveling bands of Native Americans have known that each time they broke camp and moved to another location, home moved with them. Home was not necessarily the movable dwellings or belongings of tribal people, but rather their connection to the Earth Mother and to each other. The home of any gypsy, nomad, or wanderer lives inside the hearts of those loved ones who represent security and nurturing, no matter where that traveler may be. The sense of loss was devastating when Native Americans were forced to walk the Trail of Tears and leave the areas where they had been the guardians of the land for centuries. The living teachings which bound them together were the spirit of the people. Each tribe knew that a new home could be created in another place because as long as the teachings lived, the spirit of the people would live. After the Trail of Tears, many new traditions began to emerge from the ashes of the broken spirit of the people. The peyote ceremony, the taking of the shawl, and many other teachings marked the hard road back to finding the heart, the spirit, and the home of Native America. The ghost dance became a tradition just prior to the Trail of Tears and was originally intended to call back the buffalo, clean the waters, bring back the prairie grasses, and rid the white eyes from sacred ground. The taking of the shawl is the little-known I can't even talk, teaching that came into being when some members of the red race could no longer live in the white world. Those Native Americans who chose to return home and embrace the teachings of their elders took on the shawl. The shawl was a symbol of coming home to the arms of the Earth Mother and being wrapped in her nurturing love. To accomplish the taking of the shawl, one would have to return to the traditional teachings of their tribe and ask permission to live among the people who honored the ways of the ancestors. Those who had taken the shawl moved from the clapboard houses provided by the Board of Indian Affairs and took up residence in the traditional homes that the Paiutes called carnies. Although it was much warmer in clapboard houses, those who had taken the shawl were very happy to live in carnies. Their hearts had once again found a home in the traditional teachings of the Good Red Road, and the material things no longer mattered. Many Native Americans who left reservations during the years following the Trail of Tears lost touch with the traditional teachings when they moved to cities in order to find work. Many generations have married into other races, and some have lost touch with Mother Earth. In the ensuing years, as the traditional teachings have come to the attention of the public, the return of Native Americans to the way of their ancestors has increased. Many of the mixed-blood children of the red race, sometimes called Métis, have also chosen the Good Red Road as well. It is now the time of the white buffalo, and people of many races are taking the shawl. The grandmothers of the Sisterhood of the Dreamtime Buffalo taught me, and this is Jamie talking, that the time of the white buffalo would mean many things. Their prophecy said that the return of the buffalo to Turtle Island would mark the return of many red ancestors who would not necessarily come back to the Good Red Road in red bodies. Many people would feel confused at having no Indian blood and yet be red on the inside and white on the outside. Grandmother Cece, I don't know, told me that the Great Mystery was going to play Hayoka with everyone who refused to honor the path of others. Grandmother Berta told me that some Native people would deny other Native teachers who shared their traditions with all races. Then Grandmother Cece laughed and laughed at the raucous battle of egos she had seen in her medicine bowl that would be caused by the fighting between all of those people. And she has that in quotes. Claiming to be the only true Native teachers. The grandmothers promised me that this jealousy and envy would eventually serve as a growth tool for all concerned and would iron itself out as the fifth world of peace continued. The difference between the people and those people is that the people have stayed on the sacred path because the behavior of those people has reminded them of why they need to walk in beauty. This teaching applies to every race. The people are those who have taken the shawl and live in harmony, honoring the sacred space of all life forms. In taking the shawl, we are taught that the Earth Mother loves all her children and welcomes everyone home, no matter how naughty they have been. Oops, sorry, kicked the stand. We are not here to heal Mother Earth. She is quite capable of doing that herself. We are here to heal ourselves so that we may discover our role in creation. During the former 4 worlds, the Earth Mother has purged herself of many civilizations that did not honor her right to life. Mother Earth has the potential and the ability to cleanse herself again if the need arises. Hint, hint, we need to start paying attention because she's already doing that. This is not to say that 2-legged should not be mindful of assisting in cleaning up any damage that has been done. On the contrary, that is part of our human role as children of Earth. Each person who takes the shawl comes into alignment. We are being taught to acknowledge the beauty in each unique expression of creation, whether it be human, creature being, plant person, stone person, or our worst enemy. The shawl may be too heavy for some people to carry on their shoulders if it means that harmony must be lived daily without exceptions. For centuries, every time there was a need, new ideas and traditions have appeared among Native Americans. In the more than 380 tribes in North America, there are hundreds of traditions that could not possibly be named in this work. For anyone to say that one tribe had the corner on tradition would be foolish. For anyone to say that they had been trained in the only traditional Native American methods would be very limiting. Taking on the shawl also means that one is willing to exchange information and allow all traditional teachings to live so that the goodness of each can be shared by many. It is time to let go of the I and take the shawl that covers the eternal we. Pretty powerful stuff if you listen. So the application. If the shawl has fallen across your shoulders, you are being invited to return home. If you have forgotten yourself recently, it is now time to remember your essence and potential. If you have walked a crooked trail by falsely judging others, it is now time to come home to the loving heart and see the value in all paths and chosen lessons. You may be coming home to the magic that you once believed in, or to a new sense of well-being. But in every case, you are returning to a temporarily forgotten state of being. In every life, there is a need to return to the simplicity of happiness. If you have forgotten how to find the simple truths that once supported your inner joy, it is time to return home. Wearing the shawl is coming home to the arms of the Earth Mother and being loved. The responsibility of taking the shawl is being loving to others who have forgotten the sacred path or the way home. That's some pretty powerful messages. This is why I like a lot of the Native teachings, besides the fact that I'm half Native. My birth father was Native American and Spanish from South America. So originally the lineage came from the Incas. And of course it got mixed in with Spanish when those darn conquistadors, you know how they were. Anyway, so I tune in very much, and the shaman that I trained under was Mohawk and Hawaiian. So he had 500 years of Huna shamanism in his family on his mother's side, and his father was off the Mohawk reservation in New York. So I got that training of what he learned, plus a lot of the Lakota training. And of course, here in Arizona, when Serge moved here, he got to know a lot of the indigenous healers of the Navajo, and he passed that down to me as well. And that's what a lot of these are, which I am going to start transcribing so that we can keep the healing, the stories, the teachings alive. The second card I pulled is called the Whirling Rainbow. And it is about unity and wholeness achieved. It's kind of a cool looking card. So the whirling rainbow, giver of life, through your cleansing rains, uniting all colors, the children of earth will walk in peace again. Whirling rainbow prophecy, your warriors now arise, sisters and brothers in harmony, your light in their eyes. Whirling rainbow, touch our hearts. We will surely fly, never lonely or apart, our whirling colors in the sky. The teaching. To the Navajo and the Hopi, the swirling or whirling rainbow woman is the bringer of friendly rains that nurture the three sisters, corn, squash, and beans, during the summer so that the people will be fed. Many times an image of the whirling rainbow is created in sand paintings, an ancient sacred healing art performed by the medicine clans of those nations. The whirling rainbow woman comes from all four directions and curves like a swastika covering all directions. The outside of the sacred circle is protected by another whirling rainbow woman, bending her body in the space below, creating a cup shape to catch the rain and protect the circle. Without the rain, the three sisters will die and the people will not be fed. The whirling rainbow is the promise of peace among all nations and all people. The rainbow race stresses equality and opposes that idea of a superior race that would control or conquer other races. The rainbow race brings peace through the understanding that all races are one. The unity of all colors, all creeds, working together for the good of the whole is the idea that is embodied in the whirling rainbow. When all pathways to wholeness are respected by all cultures, the prophecy of the whirling rainbow will be completed. Now this is Jamie talking again. When she lived in Mexico and worked with the grandmothers, the Dreamtime Buffalo Society, or the Sisterhood, had many prophecies derived from seers and dreamers that had come down through the ages. The prophecy of the whirling rainbow was very specific. When the time of the white buffalo approaches, the third generation of white-eyed children will grow their hair and speak of love as the healer of the children of the earth. These children will seek new ways of understanding themselves and others. They will wear feathers and beads and paint their faces. They will seek the elders of the red race and drink of their wisdom. These white-eyed children will be a sign that the ancestors are returning in white bodies, but they are red on the inside. They will learn to walk the Earth Mother in balance again and reform the ideas of the white chiefs. These children will be tested as they were when they were red ancestors by unnatural substances like fire water, to see if they can remain on the sacred path. Their generation of flower children have moved through this part of the prophecy, and some have remained on the sacred path. Others were lost for a while and are now returning to the natural way of being. Some were disillusioned and have forgotten the high ideals that gave them life when their hearts were young, but others still are waking up and quickening into remembering. Grandmother Cece would look at me with her obsidian eyes, piercing my soul, when she spoke of the whirling rainbow prophecy. And I would feel my heart skip a beat and then fill with promise and love. She would tell me about the return of the buffalo to Turtle Island and how the herds would once again be numerous. After the time when the buffalo returned, the generation following the flower children would see the dawning of the fifth world of peace, which is basically what we're going into right now. Grandmother Cece called the beginning of this fifth world the wobbly pony, and boy has it been wobbly. that on being born would try to use its legs. She said that the wobble would be felt by the Earth Mother and changes would occur in the soil and waters. Inside the children of Earth, the wobble would create rolling emotions and feelings that would bring the quickening and the remembering. Colorful dreams would be brought into the sleep time and dreamtime dreams of these newborn warriors of the rainbow, and they would begin to learn how to walk in balance. The changes in our Earth Mother would create fear in her children, which would later lead to the understanding and unity of one planet, one people, and I might add, one nation. Grandmother Berta would giggle when we came to this part of the prophecy because my eyes would be as round as saucers and I could not sit still. Grandmother Berta would urge Grandmother Cece to stop for the day and leave me hanging on the edge of the cliff just to tease me. Cece would finally begin again and slap my knee to make me pay attention to the rhythm of the prophecy because my mind would be spinning with probabilities and my own projections. I wanted to ask so many questions about how, when, where, and why. I wanted to know details. I was 22 and very impatient, but I kept my silence so she would continue. The whirling rainbow will appear in the form of a sundog to those who are ready to see. The sundog is a full rainbow circle around the sun that has bright white lights at the 4 directions. The sundog is a rare natural phenomenon that was named by Native Americans. The name is now used by scientists all over the world. Many sundogs will be seen around the time of the white buffalo, which will be the sky language sign that the secret and sacred teachings are to be shared with all races. Enough of the children of the earth will be awakened to carry the responsibility of the teachings, and the healing process will begin in full swing. Grandmother Berta would smile with a faraway look in her eyes, knowing that she would be on the blue road of spirit when the time of the white buffalo came. Grandmother Cece would also be in the other side camp, but both promised they would be assisting me in bringing out the things they had taught me when the time was right. Both grandmothers spoke of the change in feelings the children of Earth would have during the wobble, or healing process, as the whirling rainbows permeated their dreams. They said many will remember their purpose for being on this earth walk and will learn to develop their gifts to assist the whole of humanity. Truth will shatter the bonds of separation and goodness will prevail. Some details of earth changes will come into the dreams of those who are being warned to move where they will be safe. Others will be told that their talents will be needed in areas where the changes occur. Everyone will have to trust their personal vision and follow their hearts in order to assist the whole. Each person will be able to use their gifts with joy and share equally in the bounty created by all those working together. The other teachings of the prophecy of the whirling rainbow will be released at a later time when more have awakened to the potential they carry. This is still Jamie speaking. So in her Seneca tradition, Grandmother Twyla has taught us that many uses for the whirling rainbow of peace. When we are having difficulty in any situation, we visualize the rainbow of peace encircling the situation, the people involved, and the disharmony. Then we twinkle our eyes with joy, sending our inner peace to the situation. In using this technique and following it with ceremony, we place our intention inside the whirling rainbow of peace. Our intention follows the Iroquois Peace Confederacy tradition that uses the 12 cycles of truth to bring peace. The 12 cycles of truth are learning the truth, honoring the truth, accepting the truth, loving the truth, serving the truth, living the truth, working with truth, walking the truth, and being grateful for the truth. When we invite total truth into our sacred space, we shatter the bonds of separation and illusion that create discord. The whirling rainbow of peace destroys the lies that have made the children of earth mistrust one another and replaces the illusion of separation with the truth of unity. When the whirling rainbow woman of the Navajo and Hopi brings the cleansing and regenerative rains to the Earth Mother, her children are also cleansed and healed. When the rainbow of peace of the Seneca encircles each person's sacred space, all will walk in truth, respecting the sacred space of others, and the harmony of living on earth will be restored. Those knowing systems are the teachings of the warriors of the rainbow, who are sisters and brothers, uniting the fifth world and working for peace. I see a pattern here. Peace coming to planet Earth. Much greatly needed. So the application for the whirling rainbow, if it has appeared, which of course it has because I'm reading about it, you are being asked to remove any type of discord from your life in order to grow. Don't feed the negativity. Look at any lessons being presented at this time, learn from them, then focus your attention on creating new beauty and abundance in your life. Do not allow yourself to be caught in the quicksand of petty tyrants. A true, worthy opponent will present lessons to make you grow beyond any high drama and into a sense of unity with self. Other petty tyrants are not worthy of your attention or your energy. You need not take on the issues of others when the discord is due to their lack of unity within themselves. Encircle any discord with the whirling rainbow of peace and consider the unity you have with the great mystery when you keep your eye on the goal and your feet on the sacred path of beauty. Remember that any challenges to unity are equal to your ability to overcome them. This is some heavy duty stuff, guys. And it's funny that no matter what tradition, like the Shawl was saying, that you follow, it's all the same. It doesn't matter what tribe it comes from. It doesn't matter if it's from North America, South America, Central America, or Canada, because the First Nations are also considered Native Americans. So it doesn't matter which tribe. The teachings are the same. And if you look at even different nations outside of the Americas, the teachings are still the same if they come from truth. And they come from the sacred path of beauty, the walk. That's why I always say, walk in beauty. Walk that sacred path, because then you're walking the path of truth and love. And you can't go wrong with that. So the third card was the West Shield, and it's about introspection and goals. Oops, let's turn it that way so you can see it. And of course it's got the bear in there because the bear sits in the west on the medicine wheel. So let's see. Whew. It's only like 112 outside, so it's still kind of toasty in here too. What does the West Shield have to say? West Shield, power of woman to seek answers. Place of Bear's Cave, in the fading light of grandfather's sun. The horizon of tomorrow brings the strength to meet my goals. The teaching. The West is the traditional home of Bear on the medicine wheel. Where did I just hear that? So, the color of this direction is black, which represents the void, where the answers live within the dark cave of Bear. The ability to go within and to introspect is the female energy, which is receptive. The womb of woman is the place where all ideas, as well as babies, are nurtured and given birth. The darkness of the fertile womb is the place where each of us on the good red road of physical life had our beginnings. We were the future generation to our parents. What future holds is always in the West. the place of tomorrows. To understand the West, the looks within place, or as they call it, looking within, I've always been taught it's called the looks within, we must first understand our natures. Unless we are connected to all our relations, the standing people, and for those that don't know, the standing people are the trees. The stone people, of course, that's kind of pretty much explanatory. The creature beings, and it doesn't matter if they're creepy crawlies, the winged ones, the four-leggeds, the slithering ones, the finned ones, they're all creature beings. Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, the four chief spirits, air, earth, water, and fire. And, well, yeah, now they're talking about the creepy crawlies, which are the insects, basically. And all other life forms, from atom to great star nation, we feel that the answers live outside of us. If we understand that the spirit of all these other life forms dwells inside our bodies, we begin to understand that we can look within to feel and know the answers. In our earthly bodies, our cells carry memory of all that has ever been. Answers live in our spirit's knowing potential. Now this is her talking again. The bear came to me in dream time, waking state several years ago, and lumbered through my awareness to take me on a dreamtime medicine walk. I found myself in a forest high in the Rocky Mountains by the old burial ground near Creede, Colorado. The bear wandered up to the spring about Moonshine Mesa and drank deeply of the cold, pure water coming from Earth Mother's breast. Then Bear turned to me and spoke. It's always fun when they start talking to you. We used to use words like, "you two-legged," she said. We retreated into our silence at the end of the Second World. When the earth was cleansed by the great ice mountains, your people had finally come together in clans and families. They had heard the Thunder Wolf song and started to use words of their own. We knew that you humans would not be alone, and the humans would survive if they could communicate with one another. We creature beings had to leave the two-leggeds alone so they could learn their own sounds and how to use communication. Unfortunately, that was also the time the two-leggeds shared so many of the opinions of others that they started to judge their personal truths. They began to worry about what others thought and failed to find their own answers within their hearts. I understood that Bear was trying to show me how we two-legged sought approval, entangling ourselves with the fear of being different. If new ideas presented a threat, it could be hard for individuals to follow their personal truths. Bear continued. It was during those days of the ensuing cold that humankind learned to eat meat. In the first world, the two-leggeds had been vegetarian. Fruits, berries, roots, and wild vegetables were plentiful until the cleansing of the first world. When the great ice mountains moved across Earth Mother's face, the plants, which had sustained all creatures, vanished. The two-leggeds were starving until they learned to eat meat. The creature beings who understood the need for balance and sharing often offered their bodies as food to the two-leggeds. My creature ancestors gave the warmth of their body's fur and the instinct of survival to the two-leggeds. Then, through consuming the meat of bear, the West Shield's lessons were learned. I have memory of the way our gift was received by a female two-legged, Bear said. She was called Alona. Alona ate of the meat of bear and sank into a fulfilling, deep sleep. She saw the memories of our bear clan and learned the three paths of the West Shield. I listened as Bear continued. In the dream, Alona watched Grizzly as she ate all that she could find in the ways of berries, honey, and fish from the stream. This giantess was filling up for hibernation time when she would have to live off her stored fat. Then Alona saw Grizzly go into her cave to sleep through the winter's white robe. In her dream, Alona followed Grizzly and slept at her side. In the spring, when Grizzly awoke, Alona followed her into the deep green forest. Grizzly seemed very intent on rediscovering the forest and noting the changes in her favorite hollow logs. The deep winter sleep had propelled Grizzly into a new state of awareness. Mama Grizzly had left Alona to her thoughts and gone to forage through the forest, continuing her routine, Bear said. It was only when Alona was left to her own devices that a tiny, still voice spoke to her silent heart and showed her the value of Grizzly's lessons. Alona saw that in tasting the fruits of all ideas, you could expand one's outlook on life, just as Grizzly had done by eating all manners of food. Then Alona remembered the retreat into the cave. Grizzly had taught her to go into the silence of her own sacred space to digest her ideas. The ideas that did not sustain her could be eliminated, and the others would nurture her during the time of looking within. Alona realized that she could best meet her goals when she acted on the ideas that were most nurturing to her. I looked at Bear's big brown eyes and smiled. I was beginning to understand the West Shield in a new way. So the 3 pathways to understanding how to look within and reach our goals are like the actions of Grizzly in Alona's dream. Right? I asked. Right, Bear replied. Now you tell me how you see those paths. I thought for a moment and then spoke. The first path is to enter the stillness of our sacred space. Basically, it is being willing to receive the answers made available to us through the experience of daily life. This is allowing our female receptive side to come forward to magnetize or receive in the silence. So it is entering the silence. Correct, said Bear. And the second path? Well, I suppose the next step is digesting the answers that come and learning to feel which ones apply. So the second pathway is integrating the information and discerning what our personal truth is, I replied. Right again, said Bear. It is the second step which nurtures the answers received that the third path becomes evident. Oh, I understand, I said. It is because the third path is structured based on personal truth. If we have a knowing about our digested ideas, we may then formulate a plan on how to attain our goals. That's the structure. If our goals are based on our personal truth and desire, they will be approached with joy. They will be goals we want to nurture because they are truly our own, not ones that others have expected of us. That's right, isn't it? Bear chuckled and rolled over, scratching her back on the boulder next to the spring. You have the idea, she mused. All of the actions of Grizzly will allow each person to tap their inner knowing, and like Alona a long time ago, my clan can give the strength necessary to meet each tomorrow with joy. There is no need to fear the unknown that future holds if you follow Grandmother Grizzly and digest the knowing of your personal truth. I thanked Bear for the lessons and began the journey of understanding my personal West Shield. May this sharing also aid you in your joy-filled sojourn to the land of Bear and the lessons of the West. So if the West Shield has appeared in your spread, which of course it has, because that's what we're talking about here, Bear is asking you to look at your present goals and discern how they affect your future. Are the answers you seek from your own inner knowing? If not, it may be time to enter the silence and digest the questions so that your personal answers can emerge. Other people can tell you what they believe you should do, possibly what they think you should do, or they just might be bossy and just tell you, this is what you need to do. But if it's not your personal space, it's not your personal projection and path, it doesn't matter. It has to come from within you, and you have to get it for it to make sense. And because only then will your soul give you the next steps. So you have to have your own personal answers. Bearer also reminds us that the West Shield is the place of all tomorrows. If you are afraid of the unknown, it may be time to clear away the fear. Strength to accomplish this clearing is Bear's greatest medicine. Call on Bear and feel the courage to meet the future fill your spirit. In all cases, the West Shield speaks of the ability to complete our goals, the acknowledgement of our inner strengths, and the power to find and know our own answers. Remember that the opinions of others become mixed with our own doubts and become limitations when we forget to enter the silence. And I had that kind of experience this morning, thanks to my neighbor, who decided it was a good idea I woke up around 3 o'clock because the noise had finally sunk through into my subconscious that there was something off, something that wasn't right. And then, of course, the person upstairs from him was very angry because he has to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go to work. Well, it's kind of hard to do when somebody's doing boom, 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 boom all night long. So I woke up a little before 3, and by 3:13, the guy from upstairs was downstairs, pounding on the door, yelling and cussing, calling him names, and yeah, it's just stuff you shouldn't have to put up with. But it was during that time that it finally, like something snapped within me. And this lethargy that I have been going through with this contract that I just ended, which I'll finally get paid for on Friday. So I'm looking forward to that, which will also end the energy cord with that company. But what I realized was something that I had forgotten, that I am a shaman. I come from a long line also on the Native American side. And who knows, on the mother side, who knows. But on the father side, I definitely know he was the Native American. She came from, I think, like Germany, England, Scottish, Irish, whatever. But one of the things I have stepped away from over the last few years and several years when I went back to corporate work was I am a shaman. Have been for centuries, have been for many, many, many lifetimes. And it was like, I have the ability to create my own reality, just like you have the ability to create your own reality. And that's kind of like what the West is telling us. Go within, because your soul knows. So ask it. And the declaration that came out this morning with all the yelling and screaming and everything else that was going on over there, it was like, this isn't my reality. And so it's going to change. It might take a little while. But by reclaiming what I am, yes, I'm a doctor of metaphysical sciences, yes, I am a minister, but I'm also a shaman and a healer and a writer and all that other stuff. But I am. So when you do it as an I am statement, you put out that I am what you came down here to do, as if it's already happened, as if you're already living it. You don't say, well, it's not this. No, you just totally ignore the situation you're in right now. And you create what it is, how you see yourself. Successful. If you want to be in a relationship, you see that. as if you're already in it. But to get there, you want to go in. Well, first of all, you sit in the south for a while to release any emotions and feelings that might be blocking you. But when you get into the west shield, when you sit there and go to the looks within place, it's like, who am I? What is my purpose? Why am I here? The questions that she was asking the bear. Who, what, why? You know, who am I? Your spirit. Why are you here? To bring love and peace onto the planet. That is all light workers' main goal. And then you have your own personal mission, if you want to call it, or purpose. But you need to go within to find the answers. Not listen to other people say, oh, well, you know, you're an accountant, you're an auditor, you're a this, you're a that, whatever. No. The soul knows who it is. So listen to the soul. And talk to her or him. And find out what it wants you to know. And thank Mother Bear. My personal power animal, the one that has been with me the longest since I can remember when I was 5, she is a huge Kodiak bear. And she don't mess around. In the West, the grizzly bear sits. They're very similar. You don't want to mess with either one of them. And when they roar, you're like, yes, ma'am. Okay, I'm listening. So sit in the West. Be willing to put the shawl on. And have fun with the rainbow. So again, the shawl was the first card, which is about returning home, back to your spirit and who you really are and who you came here to be. The second is the whirling rainbow. Unity and wholeness is achieved. That's where the Mitakueo Yasi comes in. We are all related. We all bleed red. It doesn't matter what the color of our skin on the outside is. We are all the same. We all come from the same place, no matter what color our outside skin is. We are all souls, come from the Creator. We are all one. One nation, one tribe, period. And stop. I think it's one of the things they say. And then of course we have the West Shield, which is our introspection and our goals. Go within, talk to Mother Bear, and see what she has to tell you. And remember, as always, walk the path of beauty, my friends. Always walk the sacred path of love. So that is today's teaching and reading for this week of, what is this, July 26th through August 1st, which I believe is Saturday. So there's a lot in it to unpack, a lot to think about. But we're going to start getting more into more of the teachings, not just doing a reading. It's going to be more starting to be teachings. Yes, there's still going to be the readings on Sunday. Maybe not quite as long as this one was. But there's a lot to unpack and a lot to learn when you walk the path of beauty. This is Reverend Dr. Elena Skyhawk signing off for now, and we will see you next week. Bye.